All the taxes are anyway always passed on to the consumer. No, elasticity of demand makes a difference. That's why I said that depending on the market structure or the elasticity of demand, you can pass on a larger or a smaller part. But when you're designing a GST regime, you can't build in assumptions of which sector has an elastic demand and which sector has an inelastic demand. So you assume that it is perfectly elastic. But in sectors where demand is less than perfectly elastic, wherever there is supply or demand rigidity, the sharing of tax burden is always there. So it will go on as higher cost or lower margins as the case.
The last question.
Yeah.
Regarding this CGST, SGST, IGST, what we're talking about.
I didn't even mention IGST, but yes, I'm glad you know about it. Yes.
Again, you are making the pool of taxes at the central level and the state level.
Correct.
The state is having, as of now, 35% of this tax, indirect tax. So, can't it be made one and the center take 60 and state take 1?
See, it's like this. The state has a right to tax. The word right, just hear me out. The word right to tax is important. It's a constitutionally assigned right.
That's what I was about to tell you. Anyway, we are going for a constitutional amendment for this GST. So the same amendment can be made.
Yeah, see, there are two catches. There are two constraints to that. Whenever you're trying to do a constitutional amendment which covers subjects which are of state interest today, which are assigned to the state, you require a majority of the states to ratify that constitutional amendment. Center cannot amend it unilaterally. So half the states or more will have to ratify saying, okay, this amendment is acceptable to us. And if you remove the state's right to tax from the constitution, it's very difficult to push that constitutional amendment.
But it will benefit for the state, what we are proposing.
See, there are two ways that the states perceive taxation. One is the revenue that you get from taxes. And that is much easier to get if you just assign it to somebody and get the revenue. But the other is the power you get out of the right to tax. And that goes. So no finance minister worth his salt will agree to sign a bill which says that center collects and we get a share. It's possible that there will be some states in the northeast which were forced to introduce a sales tax in the first place, who might be ready for such a thing. But for the most part, most other states, at the present juncture, will not do this for us. One small aside on this whole process of trying to negotiate, where there are multiple levels of government trying to do a tax and GST. There's another country called Canada, which has had a lot of these experiments about 15 years before us. They first introduced their GST in 91, and it's a central tax. And then they found that the states also should do GST because the states had a retail sales tax on goods. Now, interestingly, some states did and some states didn't. So if you look at any reports till, let's say, 2 years back, you'll find that there was one state called Ontario which had a value-added tax. And it said that, okay, I will collect the tax for both the center and the state, and I will pass on the center's revenue to the sector. So that is one model. There was another model which was called HST, Harmonized Sales Tax, which was applied in 4 or 5 maritime provinces, which said that center will collect the tax for both the center and the state and will assign the revenue to the states on a formula basis. This is again a negotiated settlement between the center and those specific states. There were other states which continued to do a retail sales tax independently, and there was one province called Alberta which chose not to tax its people because it had a lot of petroleum revenue. So that is the structure. It's almost 20 years since they introduced GST. In July this year, 4 other provinces of that country are opting to become a part of that harmonized sales tax, which means that there is a central administration. Taxes will be collected uniformly and distributed. So the process of reform doesn't end one shot. It might be a gradual process where we But states feel the need and the center feels the need to impress upon the need to clean up administration related and so on and so forth. But to begin with, if we start by saying that states should give up their power to tax and centers should be tax and pass on revenue, you're most likely going to see the constitutional amendment fail. So you have to keep the right with the states, at least at the present time. Any more questions? Okay. Let's shift to direct taxes for a minute. Direct taxes basically are personal income tax and corporate tax. To begin with, does anybody have any idea why we have corporate tax separate from personal income tax?
Corporate identity, separate legal entity.
How do you set up a body corporate? How do you set up a corporate entity? How does that corporation function? Where does it live? Where does it get resources?
Corporation functions by getting money from the market, by getting loans from the bank.
Yeah, so money from the market is what? Shareholders? Correct? Now the shareholders, which means individuals in the economy, are investing money to form a body corporate, which is assigned the role of doing certain functions. It can be sale of goods, it can be sale of provision of services, whatever. Now, these people are putting in money into the body corporate. And what happens to the income that the corporate sector earns?
They pass on dividends and profit.
It passes on as dividend after it takes care of costs. So it can be either retained profits or it can be passed on as dividend. So if it's passing it on as dividend and you tax the dividends again as part of the individual income, what is the rationale for taxing the corporate sector?
That is cascading. That will come to cascading if you tax the dividends.
Correct.
Because on that corporate tax, by way of corporate tax, the income tax has already been paid.
Correct. So you should either be taxing dividends or you should be having a corporate tax.
So,
you should not ideally be having both corporate tax and tax on dividends.
as of now, there is no tax on dividends.
There is.
That should be.
There is. There is a tax on dividends, and what is worse is the tax on dividends is collected by the company, deducted from the dividend payment by the company and given to the company.
Even before giving the dividend.
TDS.
Even before giving the dividend, it is.
At what time they are
And you don't have the right to say that my income is below the exemption threshold and therefore my tax on my dividend should not be deducted. If it was taxed in the hands of the individual getting this dividend, he could have argued that I am only in the 10% bracket, so I should be paying only 10% tax, or I am below the exemption threshold, this is my only source of income, so I should not be taxing it. All of these propositions don't apply when it is deducted by the body corporate and paid to the government.